Welcome to another day of Bhagavad Gita Sadhana. I'm Atmadarshan, or Laura, and the whole year being dedicated to Samatvam, principle of equanimity, of being yourself in all situations, is almost to the halfway point. I realized that today when I looked at the numbers of this is video 171. Holy cow, we're almost halfway through. And there's still so much to talk about. There's always something new to learn with the Gita. Today we're looking deeply into Samatvam as we have been for the past few days, and as we're going to continue to do. We'll go through the Gita. What does it say about this mysterious Sanskrit word that has so many levels of meaning? And this can help with applying it in our lives instead of just going, yes, I should be more myself all the time. We can learn how that happens. So today, focusing on verse 257, chapter 2, verse 57, which has a lot of nuances in it. So here's something Krishna says about knowing whether you're making progress in becoming, I want to say more samatvam-vik, becoming more yourself, more established, shall we say, in this ultimate spiritual goal. Krishna says, one without desire in all things, in this or that pleasant and ill, neither rejoicing nor hating, that one is steady in insight. There we go. That's easy. So today, just don't desire anything and be the same in pleasant and ill. Right, simple but not easy. Now, there are going to be a lot of guidelines like this throughout the Gita. And as I mentioned, there are nuances. So let's look at a particular nuance that may help you find a way to work with the concept today. Looking at the Sanskrit terms can be both informative and frustrating because they're almost impossible to translate directly one-to-one into English. So when we look at pleasant and ill in this verse, the words are shubha and ashubha, which can mean pleasant and unpleasant, good or bad, but the nuance is actually of lucky or unlucky, or auspicious and inauspicious. So when you're without desire, when you can be the same whether it seems things are going for you or going against you, and you're not complaining or rejoicing, whatever's going on, then you're prajna, which is, I've translated as insight, but it's kind of a wisdom, maybe more of a lived wisdom. It's got a connotation of light to it. This enlightened wisdom is sure. So I know a lot of people say, I think I'm pretty spiritual. How am I sure? Here's a test. Or, somebody like, are they making progress? We can see this. I'm sorry, my cat is trying to make sure my focus is steady. He is rolling up in the computer cable and wrapping himself and chewing it. So if we suddenly cut out, I'll be the same, which is to the cat. Anyhow, here's a story that might illustrate it, and you may have heard this story before. This idea of being the same in good fortune and misfortune. There was a man who lived on his farm, and he had a son who was getting to be of age. And through the woods toward his farm comes this beautiful horse. And the horse comes up to the man, he's very tame. And his neighbor said, man, look how lucky you are. You've got this beautiful horse that just came up to you. Wow, auspicious. And the man simply said, we'll see. Well, the man's son decided he was going to ride the horse, teach the horse how to work for the farm. So the boy got up onto the horse, and the horse threw him, and the boy broke his leg. And then all the neighbors were like, oh, how unlucky, your son broke his leg. And the man said, we'll see. And then war was declared with the nearby kingdom, and soldiers came by into the village and said, we're conscripting all able-bodied young men or older boys into the army. And they took a look at the man's son and said, his leg's broken, we can't take him. And then all the neighbors said, how lucky are you? And the man said, we'll see. And the story just keeps going and going and going like this. The Mahabharata keeps going and going and going like this. There's auspicious, there's inauspicious, and it's so tempting to ride that roller coaster of, yay, yay. But when we can go, yeah, we'll see. Or when our ahs and yays get a little gentler, like, and yay. We're making progress. Okay. Tough to do, but I encourage you. Now, you may have heard that story before, and that's actually one of the points of the Gita. You're going to keep hearing some of these concepts again and again because we hear them, but do we live them? It's tough. So I encourage you to try this today. Whatever happens to you, instead of labeling it good or bad, or the Supreme likes me, the Supreme doesn't like me, oh my gosh, can you go, well, let's see. Let's see what happens. Let's see what happens in our practice, shall we? I've got the computer set up this way because it rained last night, and this is a dry spot. I left my garage open. Darn! Oh, but wait, we'll see. Maybe that's a good thing. All right, pose time. Get out of the cord, buddy. Ooh, I disappeared in the brightness. Let's switch. All righty. Let's see here. There we go. I'm turning it this way. The other day, while I was sitting with y'all and sitting kind of over by this marigold, a chipmunk ran right by me through here. So is that auspicious or not? We'll find out. And I invite you to contemplate. Think of a time when you thought your luck was going one way and it turned out to be actually going another. It could be for the better or the worse, depending on your temperament. And just reflect on that time. Did you learn anything from it? Let's try that for 5. Welcome back. So, did you think of anything? If you did and you want to share, I'd love to hear about it in the comments. You can text or email me those if you have my contact info. You can also go to our website. There's a link below that takes you to our website so you can be in touch with me. There's one, and again, now I'm starting to forget what stories I told, but maybe it's worth hearing again. One thing that came to mind is I was born with a tumor, and it's produced symptoms all my life, but doctors didn't take me seriously for years and years and years. And finally, I went to one who said, "Oh, you got a tumor. It's got to come out right now, or else you're going to die." So I went and got that tumor, and I was mad for a long time about how many decades I've been suffering because of it. But then I realized, if they'd have discovered it sooner, I actually had one of the more new types of surgeries that was laparoscopic to take that tumor out. And if it had been done basically any earlier, they would have had to cut through my muscle, my connective tissue. I'd have gone into perimenopause really early, and it would have been a much different life. So auspicious, inauspicious, we'll see. We'll see. We'll see. We'll see you tomorrow, I hope. Both I and let's see if we can see my friend, my supervisor here. Oh, good, he's out of the cord. Although pulling the cord could have been auspicious, huh? All righty, my friends. Till then. Oh, I'll dedicate it to Mr. Oliver. I've dedicated stuff to him before, but he's a really good teacher. Right, bud? Yep.